The Story of Amerigo, Sinterklaas's Beloved Horse, by Carolyn Stich. There are many stories of Sinterklaas, the legendary figure in the Netherlands, based on St. Nicholas. On December 5th, St. Nicholas Eve, Sinterklaas travels from house to house, giving gifts to good boys and girls, just like Santa Claus does on Christmas Eve. Sinterklaas is not the only extraordinary character in these stories. This particular story is about Amerigo, Sinterklaas's trusted horse, who continues to accompany Sinterklaas on his many adventures to this very day. Now sit back and enjoy the story of Amerigo. 'Twas the second week of November, and Sinterklaas was busily packing his bags to travel to the Netherlands from his home in Spain. When he finished, he went to the barn to make sure his trusted horse, Sabio, was packing as well. When Sinterklaas entered the barn, he knew something was wrong. Sabio said to him, "Oh, master, I feel I am too old and feeble to accompany you on this most important journey." Unfortunately, Sinterklaas knew the horse was right. He reached out his hand and gently caressed Sabio's head. "Rest, old friend. I will make this journey alone and return home with many stories to share with you." Sinterklaas then boarded the steamboat Bocks, where he met his devoted helpers, the Chimney Petes, who were joyfully traveling with him on their trip to ports of Holland. They discussed how to find a new horse to help them with their many holiday activities. As the steamboat came closer to shore, Sinterklaas and the Chimney Petes could see a large crowd of townspeople, young and old, who all came out to welcome them. The whole town was cheering and waving. As Sinterklaas disembarked the boat, he promptly asked the people if there was a farmer nearby who could spare a horse. Everyone pointed to Farmer Ellis's place just down the road. Sinterklaas and his Chimney Petes quickly went to see Farmer Ellis. "Dear man, might you have a horse I may use for the parade this evening?" Farmer Ellis replied, "Oh, Sinterklaas, my best horses are already in your welcome parade, carrying our mayor and other town dignitaries. The only horse I have left is Amerigo, that white horse in the corner. He's too small and too shy to walk in a parade." Let's see him way over in the corner. Sinterklaas asked if he may go speak to Amerigo. "Hello, Amerigo," Sinterklaas spoke gently. "My name is Sinterklaas, and I could really use your help tonight in the parade the town is holding for my arrival. It would be my honor to ride on your back this evening." Amerigo lifted his head and said, "Thank you, Sinterklaas, but I am too small and too afraid of loud noises and big crowds to walk in the parade tonight." Sinterklaas held out his hand and said, "I think I can help you with those fears if you will let me." Without hesitation, Sinterklaas took some earmuffs out of his bag and removed a bridle with blinders from the wall. He gently placed the bridle over Amerigo's head, adjusting the blinders near Amerigo's eyes. Then he put the earmuffs on Amerigo's ears to block some of the noise. Sinterklaas took a step back and with an approving look said, "With this new gear and with the help of the Chimney Petes, will you please join me in the parade?" Amerigo shyly stepped forward and said, "Yes." Sinterklaas smiled with joy and gave Amerigo a big hug around his neck. Sinterklaas gratefully shook Farmer Ellis's hand, and off they went. Sinterklaas, Amerigo, and the Chimney Petes joined the parade. Amerigo was timid at first, but with the help of the earmuffs, he couldn't hear all the shouting and hurrahs from the happy crowd. With the blinders on, he couldn't see the many people, young and old, waving and shouting. Amerigo could only see the smiling faces of the Chimney Petes and found them to be very comforting as they looked back at him while leading him down the parade route. After the parade was over and all the evening celebrations were coming to an end, Sinterklaas gave Amerigo a big pat on the back and said, "Thank you, my friend, for overcoming your fears and guiding me through the wonderful crowd. But your job is not over yet, dear horse. I need you to please lead me to the schools, churches, and homes to visit all the children of the town to make sure they're being good boys and girls." Amerigo agreed, and the next day they went to the town school. As soon as the children saw Sinterklaas enter the schoolyard, they ran to him with their hands up in the air and shouted wonderful greetings. With his blinders on, Amerigo couldn't see all the kids, but his heart was happy because he could feel their love and joy. Amerigo asked Sinterklaas to remove the blinders so he could see all the smiling children. He stood a little bit taller too, feeling all the love for him and his special rider. The next evening, Sinterklaas, the Chimney Petes, and Amerigo were walking through the town square where they noticed a crowd gathering. Everyone was holding hands and swaying back and forth. Amerigo could see all their mouths moving, but with his earmuffs on, he couldn't hear their words. Again, he felt the love and joy in the air and asked if Sinterklaas would remove his earmuffs. As soon as Sinterklaas removed the earmuffs, Amerigo's heart swelled again with love as he listened to the townspeople sing the most beautiful song Amerigo had ever heard. Amerigo now stood even taller, feeling all the love in the air. After spending the days with the townspeople, Sinterklaas, the Chimney Petes, and Amerigo would spend nights filling wooden shoes left out by the front doors of the homes of the local children with sweet treats. During these weeks, children would put their shoes out many evenings and receive treats every time. To Amerigo's surprise, most of the wooden shoes were filled with hay and carrots just for him. He was so grateful and took a small nibble at each house to make sure that he wouldn't be too full to finish the evening's ride. All these festivities were leading up to the big night, December 5th, St. Nicholas Eve. Sinterklaas pulled Amerigo aside and said, "Tonight is St. Nicholas Eve. All the visiting we have done through the town over the past several weeks has worked up to this one special night. We will go to the homes of all of the good boys and girls and leave gifts for them. Amerigo, are you ready?" Amerigo, standing as tall as he could, said, "I'm ready to help you and the Chimney Petes in this very important job." All evening, Amerigo guided Sinterklaas from house to house, where the Chimney Petes left wonderful gifts behind. Amerigo was so happy to bring such joy to his wonderful town and the people that lived there. The townspeople gathered with their friends and family to celebrate their beloved St. Nicholas with lots of food, party games, and small gift exchanges. During these joyful parties, everyone would listen to see if they could hear when St. Nicholas would arrive to drop gifts off at their home. When all the parties were done, everyone went to bed with a full tummy and a grateful heart. The next morning, as the sun rose, Amerigo could hear the joyful buzz throughout the town as the children woke up and played with their special gifts. Sinterklaas joined Amerigo and said, "You did such a wonderful job, Amerigo. You overcame your fears, and now just look at you. Amerigo was beaming with happiness. Sinterklaas continued, my dear old horse cannot continue being my guide. Amerigo, would you please come with me and the chimney Pete's and be our guide from now on? Farmer Ellis has given his blessing if you wish to come with me. With tears of happiness in his eyes, Amerigo said, yes, I would be very happy to come with you. So, on St. Nicholas Day, as all the families were enjoying this special day, Sinterklaas, the chimney Pete's, and Amerigo boarded the steamboat Pakisboot and headed back to Spain. They all had such a wonderful time in this Dutch port, knowing they would be visiting a different port that next year and every year after that. Back home, Sinterklaas was smiling and looking out his window, watching Amerigo and Sabio sharing a bale of hay. Amerigo had so many questions for the old horse. The horses shared stories about their wonderful adventures with Sinterklaas. With the advice given by Sabio, Amerigo was eager to help Sinterklaas visit all of the good boys and girls again next year. Here's some fun facts about Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas is a legendary figure based on St. Nicholas, patron saint of children. Although Sinterklaas is always shown wearing his bishop's robe and headdress, the Dutch tend to see him as a kindly old man, rather than as a religious figure. The Feast of Sinterklaas celebrates St. Nicholas on December 6th. It's celebrated annually by the giving of gifts on St. Nicholas Eve, December 5th. Sinterklaas traditionally rides a white horse named Amerigo. During the off-season, Sinterklaas spends his time in Spain. The Sinterklaas festivities traditionally begin each year in mid-November, the first Saturday after November 11th. When Sinterklaas arrives by a steamboat at a designated seaside town. In the Netherlands, this takes place at a different port each year. The steamboat, Pakisboot, anchors. Then Sinterklaas disembarks and parades through the streets on his horse, welcomed by children cheering and singing traditional Sinterklaas songs. Chimney Pete's are similar to Santa's elves. They help Sinterklaas visit all the children in town, and they also help Sinterklaas deliver gifts. In the weeks between November arrival and December 5th, Sinterklaas and the Chimney Pete's visit schools, hospitals, and shopping centers, and enjoy the festivities leading to St. Nicholas Eve. During this time, they're checking to see if all of the children are being good boys and girls. During those celebrated weeks, before going to bed, the children leave their shoes out for Sinterklaas to fill. They leave the shoes filled with a carrot or some hay and a bowl of water nearby for Amerigo. The next day, they find some candy or small present in their shoes several times. There are many different holiday traditions all over the world. May you and your family enjoy a joyful season, celebrating with your own wonderful traditions. This has been the story of Amerigo, Sinterklaas's beloved horse, by Carolyn Stich.